Well, at this particular time, I truly believe that, I knew, I know everybody is going to want to ask questions, about the Pacquiao fight. Like I said, the sport of boxing has truly changed. We have a lot of new companies, a lot of new faces has changed in the sport of boxing. And eventually, I think within the next 48 hours, either the Pacquiao fight should be done.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. has recently broken his silence, confirming that he believes a rematch with Manny Pacquiao is likely to be finalized. That announcement alone was enough to shake the division. Andre Ward, a former undisputed super middleweight champion, expresses mixed feelings about the return of these boxing legends. Ward admits he is torn because he has a deep respect for Mayweather as a fighter and admirer of his work ethic, but he also believes that at 49 years old, Mayweather should ideally be enjoying his life away from the ring.
That's interesting. I don't really know how I feel about that, but brothers, get your money. I'm never mad at that. But Floyd Mayweather also had another announcement, which was he's returning to professional boxing, not exhibition, but actual sanctioned fights after the exhibition with Mike Tyson. Floyd Mayweather turns 49 years of age today. My birthday was yesterday. His birthday is February 24th. And always thought that was interesting that our birthdays were so close together.
Ward went further, explaining that Floyd believed he still had enough left to compete at the highest level. Nobody in boxing today could match the money, attention, or global audience he still brought to the sport, and Floyd knew that better than anyone.
But that's not what I want to talk about. Floyd Mayweather is not just coming back for an exhibition. We've seen Floyd going on the exhibition tours, which a lot of former all-time great fighters have done. The Ray Robinsons did it, the Alis did it, Joe Louis did it. It's not out of the question for a fighter to do that. Sometimes you don't want to have to prepare for a mega type of fight with a real threat, but you're making good money. You get to stay close to the game. You're in good enough shape, and you still get to showcase your skills around the world. And that's what Floyd Mayweather has done. Floyd Mayweather said, "I still have what it takes to set more records in the sport of boxing."
Sean Porter, a former two-time welterweight world champion, noted that fans and media heavily criticized the Mayweather situation, calling it unnecessary and foolish. But he pointed out that despite all the backlash, people always ended up watching once fight night actually arrived.
Everybody's gonna be pushing against this. This is stupid. What are they doing? Man, Floyd's taking this risk. They're almost 50. They're gonna say everything that needs to be said. But then guess what? Everybody's gonna tune in and watch this one. The same thing happened when Mike fought Jake. It was like, what is this? It doesn't make sense. I can't believe it. I know people personally said, I'm boycotting this. And then you're sitting there, you're watching it, you're like, what are you doing here? Man, just shut up. Just shut up. You know?
Right.
Everybody's going to show up for this.
Porter also dismissed the rumors suggesting Floyd had returned due to financial issues. He suggested Mayweather was instead managing public perception and letting people believe whatever narrative suited him, because that was always how Floyd operated and always would be.
You know, I'll say, I use myself as an example. There were a few rumors that kind of like ran around relatively quickly in my career. And they were false. They weren't true. So I didn't give a damn. I actually like played on them. Like, yeah, you know, believe what you want to believe.
Right.
I got a feeling that's how Floyd is. It's really hard to believe that he could be hurting for money in the first place. But I got a feeling that if you think he's hurting for money, he wants you to think he's hurting for money.
Beyond that, what made this even more interesting was what Porter said about the mental side of the fight. Floyd carried an unshakable belief that he simply could not be beaten, and Porter warned that Pacquiao would need to rediscover his old aggressive mindset if he genuinely hoped to change the outcome this time around.
Does your gut tell you now who ultimately wins this fight? Are you feeling like it's Floyd? Floyd can't lose, right?
Floyd can't lose, you know? Floyd can't lose. And it's like, Manny, I think he should have handled business against Mario Barrios. I thought he beat Mario, but he should have handled business. What does that mean? Make this fight look so one-sided that no one can doubt that you've won this fight. And in order to beat Floyd.
Meanwhile, Oscar De La Hoya, a Hall of Fame champion and one of boxing's most powerful promotional figures, said Pacquiao struggled mentally and emotionally after their last fight, but came back rebuilt and stronger than before. He believed a peaceful and fully focused Pacquiao had become genuinely dangerous again ahead of the rematch talks.
Bro, Ever since I got beat up by Manny Pacquiao in my last fight, I've wanted to fight every single day, but I couldn't because I wasn't right. Physically, emotionally, I just wasn't right. All that depression, all that I had within my spirit. But now these last 5 years, I've put in the work, man. Woo! I did a lot of work and I feel happy. I feel at peace.
De La Hoya took that point even further, saying Pacquiao had finally recovered from the emotional and physical struggles that followed their first meeting. He said the Filipino icon sounded fearless again, even teasing fights with Jake Paul, while showing total confidence in himself and everything he still had left to offer at this stage of his legendary career.
You know what? A man at peace is a dangerous fucking man. I can take on King Kong if I want and beat his ass.
And Pacquiao himself backed every word of that. Manny believed he had done enough to beat Floyd the first time, saying he felt he controlled the action and landed the more meaningful punches throughout the fight. After rewatching the bout multiple times in slow motion, he still felt he had won several rounds, even if the official decision said otherwise and the world had long since moved on.
Who? Floyd Mayweather when you fought him. Were you like, this is what I thought, or was it better or worse?
No, that's his style. Like, I knew it. But the thing is, I'm expecting that I won the fight because he didn't throw a lot of punches. I throw a lot of punches. And I reviewed the compi box, like slow motion from first round to 12 rounds. I slow motion it, like how many punches get connected and how many punches of him he connected.
Manny went further still, revealing that the competitive fire inside him had never disappeared and confirmed he was still completely open to fighting Floyd again. He believed his body had recovered well, sounded fully confident, and made it clear he was ready for a rematch, even years after their first meeting inside that ring had left so many unanswered questions hanging in the air.
Did you want a rematch with Floyd?
With Floyd?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still active. It's up to him if he's going to fight.
So you would even fight him today?
Huh?
You would even fight him today? You win your fight. If he said, hey, Manny, I want to fight, you gonna fight?
Even here.
Oh, my goodness.
Even here.
Yeah, that fire never dies, man. That never
now
dies.
my right hand is complete, so.
Yeah. You would be willing to do it?
You will see my condition out in the fight.
Yet the question on everyone's mind was whether the styles had changed enough to produce a different result. Tim Bradley, a two-time world champion who had faced Pacquiao himself, believed Floyd would still beat Manny because his style continued to be a nightmare matchup that Pacquiao had never fully solved. He explained that Mayweather's distance control, sharp movement, and precise counters would likely frustrate Pacquiao all over again, and those tools never aged the way legs and reflexes did inside the ring.
I'll tell you this though, there's levels, man. Mayweather's already shown that he can beat Manny Pacquiao. I feel Mayweather still today with his age, even combined with his age, he still will serve and beat Manny Pacquiao. The fight, I think that the first fight was a dud. You know, I think Manny, you know, coming in quote unquote with a shoulder injury didn't made it even worse. You know what I mean? But I just still think that Mayweather's style and the way he's able to maintain his distance and fight on the outside and keep Manny reaching and countering him on the way in, I don't think that's going to be the same thing.
Bradley also admitted that Terrence Crawford would probably take the risk of fighting Floyd, but questioned whether Mayweather was really willing to put that undefeated record on the line against anyone still operating at the top level. He said Floyd still looked dangerous in exhibitions, still carried that killer instinct, and warned that people were seriously underestimating how sharp Mayweather remained even at this remarkable stage of his career.
But they got to be willing to put them O's on the line. I know Crawford is. But I don't know if Mayweather's willing to put that O on that line, you know. So I mean, even in Mayweather's exhibitions, I know he's getting ready for this Tyson exhibition. He still likes to win. He's a winner. Right. He still likes to win. He still likes to dominate. You know what I mean? I've seen him hurt guys. I've seen him drop guys in exhibitions. You know, Mayweather's he's still a killer, man, for real. Yeah, he still got it. So why not share the ring with Terrence Crawford, man? You know, you still got it. I know you can still go those rounds. yeah, you still work hard too. You still in shape, champ.
Teddy Atlas, one of boxing's most outspoken and celebrated trainers, took a more balanced view of the rematch. He praised Mayweather's elite defensive skills and called him a master who had built his entire career on ring control, timing, and making elite opponents look completely ordinary. He also noted Pacquiao's more intense recent training camps as a factor that could not be dismissed, giving Manny a slight but meaningful edge in conditioning and physical readiness heading into the rematch.
Especially early in the fight. So next one, power. Well, the guy who's always been a naturally better puncher, not the naturally bigger guy though, so that equals it out a little bit, evens it out. The naturally bigger guy is Mayweather, but the natural punch was always Pacquiao. He gets a check. Speed, who gets the edge there? Well, Mayweather always fast, always smooth, always fluid. And Pacquiao, I mean, tremendous hand and feet speed.
Atlas explained that Pacquiao held the clear edge in natural punching power, while Mayweather's size and reach helped balance the fight in the moments that mattered most. He concluded that both men were evenly matched in speed, though they expressed that speed in completely different styles, one explosive and forward-moving, the other sharp, calculated, and built entirely around making his opponent miss every single time.
Defense, well, the forte and the reason he could fight so long for Mayweather has always been, he's been a wizard. He's been a defensive magician in the ring. I mean, Pacquiao gets hit more, but, you know, he's a good defensive fighter. He's been great, but Mayweather's the man there. Conditioning. Hey, Floyd lives clean. He always seems to be in shape, never far off his weight. Pacquiao, well, he's the only one who's had a camp, a serious camp, fight camp.
What came next, however, surprised everyone. Atlas ultimately shocked fans by calling the potential rematch a draw, while openly suggesting that a possible trilogy could already be forming quietly in the background. He acknowledged Mayweather's stylistic advantages clearly, but said Pacquiao's recent activity, sharpness in camp, and hunger to settle the debate once and for all were factors that made dismissing him completely impossible going into fight night.
As far as confidence, belief, all right, at the end of the day, the pick. Here's what you've been waiting for, right? You couldn't wait for this. All right, the pick. Styles make fights. You know, that the style of Mayweather could still be a problem for Pacquiao. But again, Pacquiao has been the only one in there with a real fight recently. And I know the boxing business, you guys too, right? Could it be possible that these promoters, whatever?
Away from the analysts, one man who had stood across from Floyd himself had a very different take entirely. Victor Ortiz, a former world welterweight champion who had experienced Mayweather's genius firsthand, claimed Floyd only ever took fights he genuinely believed he could win with full control and minimal risk. He confidently insisted there was a very specific reason a second fight between them never happened, and the way he said it left absolutely no room for doubt about what that reason truly was.
Victor, can they roll it? If they come through, if you guys can.
Hey, who you got? Floyd or Pacquiao?
You know what's crazy, bro? Let's call it like it is, man. Floyd's not gonna take a fight that he doesn't think he can't win. Right. So 100%. I don't know what that gives you, but I know what it gave me. Yeah. You know. Now, let's. Okay, you really want to ask a real question? You want to really ask a real question? Is why the heck have you stayed away from me for so long? Bro, why you stay away from me for so long?
About Floyd?
Yeah.
He stayed away from you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bro.
I don't know.
I know you don't know, but I do.
I don't know about that. Ortiz went even further, saying he warned Floyd directly before their fight that it would not go 12 rounds and claimed Mayweather looked visibly nervous throughout the entire build-up leading into fight week. He insisted Floyd's body language told the real story long before they ever stepped inside the ring together, and that whatever Floyd showed publicly was never the full picture of what he was feeling deep on the inside.
Floyd, yeah, bro. I told Floyd at the press conference, we're not going 12.
I feel like when y'all did fight, though, that was a big-ass pay-per-view fight, so I did feel like it was right on time, bro. I know y'all made some great money off that fight.
He made great money. He made great money. Yeah. Now, I took the short end of the stick because I knew I was going to knock this fool out.
Did he get in your head, all that shit talking?
I think that's what scared him.
You think he was scared?
I think that's what scared him. Look, go back and, you know the eyes don't lie. You know the eyes don't lie. You know that.
I ain't never see fear though. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna go back and watch.
Go back.
I'm gonna see.
Go back. Look at the body language.
Behind the scenes, meanwhile, there were also serious questions about the structure of the fight itself. Kenny Bayless, one of boxing's most experienced and decorated referees who had officiated some of the sport's biggest nights, explained that exhibition fights gave him more financial flexibility to negotiate his pay, unlike professional bouts fully controlled by state commissions. He also clarified that referee selection in high-profile fights was always fair and fully structured, with both camps given equal choices throughout the entire process, ensuring no favoritism ever entered the equation in fights carrying the full magnitude of Mayweather's name.
So there's no favoritism, Floyd. That's right. And the other thing that made me favorites on certain fights, our commission will give each camp the name of 3 referees and say pick one. It don't mean this is one you're gonna get.
Right.
But we're giving you some say-so.
Gotcha.
And then they're giving the name of 5 judges and say pick 3. Don't mean that what you pick, you're gonna get.
Mayweather said the rematch plans were still not fully confirmed, but the idea was to move forward and entertain fans again.
So we're gonna do it again, and hopefully we're gonna entertain the people.
Right, and as far as that, you know, what's it gonna be like fighting him again, you know, like 11 years later now?
It's just, you know, like, I never really took any abuse, you know, in the sport of boxing. You know, still extremely healthy, work out every day. And, you know, I got an exhibition with Mike Tyson also, another exhibition in Greece. So if I'm just sitting at home and I'm just working out every day, spending time with my grandson and spending time with my children, I said, why not go out?
Floyd Mayweather had broken his silence. Manny Pacquiao had answered. The rematch the world waited a decade to see was suddenly being talked about again, and this time both men sounded like they genuinely meant every single word of it. So who did they think would win the rematch? Does Floyd's defensive genius shut Pacquiao down again, or has Manny finally found the answer after all these years? They dropped their prediction in the comments below. If they enjoyed this breakdown, they hit that like button and subscribed for more. Every week, there was more elite boxing drama, more big fights, and more deep dives just like this one coming their way. That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.